The American flag represents our country, and I think that everybody needs to understand.
What you see are the volunteers hard at work at 7 a.m. on a freezing Veterans Day morning. One by one, they are raising flags to honor those who served or died fighting in the armed forces. And in no time at all, over 800 flags stood in downtown Macomb. Clayton Johnson is a volunteer and has a long family line of American soldiers.
My father's brother, who was in the Navy, then my father, who was in the Marine Corps, and then my brother and I, who were both in the Navy.
He says they are his reason for helping in this commemoration.
Whenever I do this or anything involved with veteran activities to help out the community, like the Fallen Soldier 5K, they're always on my mind.
The flags are delivered on trailers. Individuals unroll them and carry them to one of the many designated holes around the park, a task even little ones can be a part of.
Actually, I got involved a couple of years ago because I heard that they were maybe going to stop putting the flags up, and I thought, that can't happen.
It's the fact of its service itself, where you give your time without expecting anything in return to help build your community for the better.
And getting involved is a simple process for members of the community. Each flag has a name inscribed on its pole to remember a loved one who served. Although many people love the flags, the committee is working on a new way to honor these soldiers. As a permanent memorial, the names on the poles are to be engraved in bricks to surround the Chandler Park fountain.
People will be able to go there and find their grandpa or their father, where now the flags have names on them, but we can't tell anybody where their loved one's flag is.
On each Flags of Love holiday, our colors of red, white, and blue fly in the sky for about 8 hours. After, they are carefully wrapped up and stored until Memorial Day.
This is too beautiful. This is a breathtaking sight.
Less students means lower operating funds contributing to the university. Members of the Inter-Hall Council created a food service review committee after being asked to cut $1 million in spending costs.
So we're on a steady decline, and they're at the same functioning as they were several years ago. And that's just not feasible anymore.
Most changes are to convenience store hours. C-stores will only be open after dining halls close.
Which basically encourages more responsible spending because you can spend less in a dining hall than you would in a C-store for the same amount of food.
The Tanner C-store will be open Thursday through Sunday at its same hours. Thompson will be open Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. And Corbin Olson will be open Sunday through Thursday at 7 p.m. through 10:30 p.m. and Friday and Saturday during dining hours.
Overall, these reductions equated to about $600,000 worth of savings for the institution or for housing and dining. I would say approximately $400,000 of that comes from personnel dollars, whether that's student employment, full-time or part-time.
Colonel Rock's Bistro will be discontinued as well due to low patronage.
And then there are some other cuts, like Corbin Olson Breakfast will no longer be running next year. But the union's about a 2-3 minute walk away from Corbin Olson. They have Einstein's, they have a C-store in there. So they do very easily also have access to breakfast.
Staffing for these facilities will also be affected, as there will be lower needs to fill positions.
So we have made these decisions in enough time for those individuals that don't maybe you work Corbin Breakfast, and so that won't be an option next year, that they can find employment at some of our other operating venues on campus.
But they wanted the students to be able to pick it and to choose how they want to see the dining operate.
Students really did a great job directing the future and choosing the future for other students that are going to be here.
You know, the flu's not just a benign illness. Some people do actually end up dying from it.
Influenza has been estimated to kill over 80,000 people worldwide last year, reported by the Centers for Disease Control, and nearly 1 million people were hospitalized from its complications. The flu season can start as early as October and last until March. When the weather cools down, people can get the virus a lot easier.
People are inside more and in confined spaces more, whereas in the summer you're outside doing things. When it gets cold outside, people tend to flock inside and do indoor type activities. And that's really why the flu spreads more easily during the winter times.
Experts say that the flu is contracted through droplets left in the air after someone with the virus coughs, sneezes, or talks. If you are around them or inhale the droplets, you can get the flu.
Well, the best thing you can do is get the flu shot. That's going to be your best defense in protecting you from getting the flu. Short of that, washing your hands.
After having gotten the flu before and going to get a flu shot just to prevent it, and then getting the flu after getting a flu shot, it kind of became a contradiction as to why would I get a flu shot if I'm going to get the flu right after getting it.
Many citizens are reluctant to receive a flu shot as rumors spread that the vaccine causes the illness, but Dr. Waters says otherwise.
You cannot get the flu from the flu immunization, at least not the ones that we give here and the ones that most people give. It's an inactivated vaccine, which means it doesn't have any live virus in the vaccine.
Typically, people are already exposed to the flu or have a common cold virus at the time the shot was given. The shot is not 100% effective, but it still has many benefits.
Also reduces the length of the illness for people that go on to still develop the flu, reduces the length and the severity, and those people typically don't become hospitalized for it.
It makes Chandler Park just gorgeous. Middle of the downtown square, middle of the park.
The American flag is inspiring and symbolic for many families in the Macomb community. The flags are put up several times a year in the downtown park, but few people know why they are flown and how this tradition started.
We started this project 40 years ago, and it went from one flag up to 852 flags.
Flags of Love was organized in 1977 by a veterans committee. They envisioned a more active community in supporting veterans and honoring those who died in the line of duty.
You can see how many people are out here. It's all volunteers. Nobody gets paid for it, and they always have more people than they need every time.
These volunteers came to Chandler Park Veterans Day morning to display over 800 flags. Each flag represents a friend or loved one who served in the American Armed Forces.
We have friends and family that were killed in Vietnam that are on the wall in Washington, and so I'm kind of doing this for their memory too.
This year was the 40th anniversary of Flags of Love, and to make this Veterans Day memorable, the remaining organizers were honored for making their vision in 1977 a success in 2017.
We can't tell you how much we appreciate it, gentlemen. This is something that people all across the Midwest talk about. It's what makes Macomb special.
When I saw the press release for this, that was when I learned that my grandpa, Bill Wayland, was part of the original committee 40 years ago who came up with the idea to start doing Flags of Love.
After 9 hours, the flags are taken down and stored until the next holiday.
I love seeing the flags. I always have, because I knew how hard my grandpa worked to make this happen.
Robert Anstein is an Air Force veteran and one of the remaining organizers of Flags of Love.
I am just thrilled that the community would support a project like that, and the younger people and the new people in the community are willing to be a part of it.
A local game store is inviting the community out for a different kind of gaming experience. News 3's Terrance Black has the story.
I'm going to move this guy to here for 6 victory points.
At the Cosmic Game Emporium, you're never too old to enjoy an old-fashioned board game. Here on the north side square of downtown Macomb, Adam Kozlowski has opened his store to the gamers in the community.
We just celebrated our 3rd year anniversary, so we've been doing it every Tuesday night since then. So for the last 3 years, we just moved to this location this last summer.
And after a hard day of work, students, parents, and even WIU faculty and staff stopped by to take their shot at being the number 1 gamer.
I think it's a great place for the community. It's very family friendly. It's female friendly. A woman can walk in here and not feel like she's out of place.
And if you're thinking there's no game for you, there's nearly 1,000 different games sold at the Emporium, suitable for all ages. However, the board games available to play on game nights are kept behind the counter.
Not every game is for everyone, but there's a game for everyone. And I like that. I have people in all the time who are like, I'm not really into games. And then we'll get talking and they're like, well, I grew up playing Pinochle and I love that game. And I'm like, that's a game. You like a game.
And with all of these games to choose from, you're sure to find one to call your favorite. For News 3, I'm Terrance Black.
Game nights are every Tuesday from 6 until 9 p.m. If you would like more information about the Cosmic Game Emporium or any upcoming events, visit their Facebook page.
Thank you for joining us this evening.
And from all of us here at News 3, have a good night, Macomb.